Hi guys, if this is your first time stopping by, you're absolutely welcome. My name is Lhidia and you're welcome to my channel. If this is not your first time, you're welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of the Lydia Stanley X Zikel Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. This palette was released about 3-4 days ago, and I thought I would buy it, review it, and share my thoughts about the palette with you. If you don't know, Zikel Cosmetics is a Nigerian beauty brand that has been around for quite a while. This brand did a collaboration with Lydia Stanley. Lydia Stanley is a Nigerian makeup artist, beauty enthusiast extraordinaire, and the Zikel Cosmetics and Lydia Stanley came together to do this collaboration and create this eyeshadow palettes. So in today's video, I'll be reviewing these eyeshadow palettes, showing you swatches, doing an eye look, and share my general thoughts about the palette. So if you'd like to see more of that, let's get along. When you buy the palette, it comes in this black packaging that looks like this, with Zikel Cosmetics, Zikel written on it, and Lydia Stanley, and this lovely embroidery around the packaging. At the back, you have a little palette that shows the colors in the eyeshadow palette, the ingredients in the palette, and there's a quote at the back that says, "To be a butterfly, you must want to fly so bad that you're willing to give up being a caterpillar. I hope this palette inspires you to morph into the beauty butterfly you are meant to be. Lydia Stanley." So that's what's at the back of the palette. So I'm going to go ahead to open the palette and show you guys what it looks like on the inside. Upon opening the palette, it has this lovely glossy black packaging with the white with Lydia Stanley's name written on it and Zikel at the bottom, and it's a really nice sturdy packaging. So this is what the palette looks like. 24 shades, a combination of both mattes and shimmers, and there are natural shades in there, colorful shades in there. I'm going to go ahead to do the swatches for you guys so you guys can see those shades. So the first shade here is Milky Way and off-white matte shade. The next shade is Precious, and Precious is an iridescent champagne gold shade. The next shade is Dimma me, I'm sure, and it's a bronze shimmer shade. The next shade is White Truffle, which is a nude brown shade, something similar to the color of my top. The next shade is Amber, and Amber is an orange. The next shade is Grayish, and it's like a brown with gray undertones, and this is what it looks like. The next shade is Latte, and this is a nude cream shade. And the last shade on the first row is Umber, burnt orange shade. This is a rich burnt orange shade that will be amazing as a transition color. So these are the colors on the first row: Milky Way, Precious, Dimmer, White Truffle, Amber, Grayish, Latte, and Umber. I'm going to go ahead to swatch the second row. The first shade there is Sunrise, bright yellow shade. The next shade there is Peace. Peace is a purple. Like the next shade is Heart Eyes, which is a red shade. The next shade is Ama, which is a nice brown chocolate shade. It is Jade, and Jade is a shimmery green shade, that is emerald shade. Next shade is Verdant, and Verdant is a true green shade. The next shade is Gunu, and Gunu is a pinkish raspberry kind of shade. And the last shade on the second line is Isoken, which is a rich chocolate shade. Sunrise, Peace, Heart Eyes, Ama, Jade, Verdant, Gunu, and Isoken. So this is what those shades look like. And so I'm swatching the last row. The first shade there is Regal. Wow, Regal is a dark navy blue shade. Esther is a slightly orange shade. Gold Coin is a true gold shimmer shade. Gilded is a shimmer, yellow shimmery shade. Lydia is a neon pink shade. Okpe is a purple shade. Promise is another dark blue shade but lighter than Regal. And Risky is a black shade. The shades of the third row there: Regal, Esther, Gold Coin, Gilded, Lydia, Okpe, Promise, and Risky. This is what they look like. I like the fact that the nude shades, most of the nude shades are in the top row, and the two bottom shades have all the colorful colors. There are about 2 nudes, I think, in the second and third rows, but most of the nude shades are in the top row, so you can use just the nude shades to create a look. So I asked you guys on Instagram stories whether you guys would prefer me to do the same look on both eyes, or you prefer me to do a soft glam look on one eye and a colorful look on the other eye. And 90% of people said they wanted one soft matte look and one colorful look. So I'm going to go ahead to prime my eyes off camera, of course. So I'm going to be going in with the shade Amber, which is this shade in the middle. This shade in the middle, and I'm going to be applying that as my transition color. I'm going to be taking this shade Umber. So I'm using that shade Umber to deepen my crease. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. So I'll be using that to deepen my crease. This is such a beautiful shade. Oh my god. But oh my god, this is like burnt orange goodness. I love this. I love this. So I'm going in with this shade called Isoken. This lovely brown shade, and I'll just be using that to deepen my crease and to define my crease further. I'm going to apply that as well to my outer corner. And I'm going to be going in with that shade Grayish. It's a darker brown shade. I'm going to be using this shade Milky Way as my lid color. Okay. So I think that shade was a little too light. So I'm going to just add white truffle on top to give a more nude look. So on applying this shade white truffle, there's a little bit of kickback and fallout on my nose, just a little bit. It's just really small, but I thought I'll mention that. I'm going to go ahead to just blend the shade white truffle together with the transition shades I used, and I'm also going to use that shade Amber in the middle of both of them. So I'm going to recreate the same thing on my lower lash line. Use the darker shades closer to my lash line and then the lighter shades around it. I went ahead to apply the shades Isoken, Grayish, and then Amber around my eyes, around my lower lash line, and this is what we're looking like now. And this is where we are so far. Good. I like this. I just realized I haven't been filming. Stressed. You guys are not understanding the misfortune that just occurred. I had gone halfway through the second look and I realized that I did not press the record button, so I've been talking to myself since. So yeah, so I had to clean that look and reapply my eye base, and we're back again. We're back in business. So let's go along. Let's continue with this look. I'm going to start off by using this shade Gunu as the transition shade and the shade Okpe as the crease shade. and then I'll go ahead to use this shade Risky to define my outer corner and to give more definition to the look. So that's what I did already before I realized I was not filming. So I'm going to go ahead to do that. Okay, so I was saying earlier that, wow, so I'm using this shade, okay, as my transition color. You guys can even see my look of surprise and shock because I've already filmed with this before and all those expressions are gone. So yeah, but this shade is really beautiful. I was literally shook when I applied it the first time. I'm going to go ahead with the shade Okwe. Like, I'm still shook. Like, these shades were like made for each other. And I'm going to apply that as my transition color. It's blending so beautifully into Gunu, so points for that. I'm going to add more of the shade Okwe. So I'm going to go ahead now with the shade Risky, the black in the palette, and this shade made me shook. Like, that's a black, guys. Like, that's a really good black. Like, seriously. So I'm not going to take it all the way in and I'm already going ham, so I'm trying to calm down. Calm down. So I'm going to go in with the shade, the purple shade, which is Okwe, and kind of blend that out. I just feel like I'm going to go ham. I'm going to make this look a very black look, and I don't want that. I just want a little bit of black. This is what I have on this eye now. So I'm going to go ahead to cut my crease because in this look we're cutting creases, we're snatching eyes. I'm going to go ahead to cut my crease and then come back. And I'm going to be going with the shade Sunrise, this one. Status eyelid look, because I'm going to apply a number of shades on my eyelid. His heart eyes is this beautiful red shade. So I'm going to be using that shade next. The next shade I'm going to be going into will be the shade Esther. I'm going to take that orange farther, a little farther, and then I'm going to end that with the purple I used in my crease, which is Okwe. This is what we're looking like. I'm going to replicate this look on my lower lash line, and I'll be right back. So I actually went ahead to apply my lashes, tie up that look because it was taking too long, and then I applied the shade Esther as blush on my cheeks. I also applied the shade Precious on the high points of my face as a highlighter. And this is what the finished look is looking like. It looks very, very nice. So now that I finished the look, I want to share my final thoughts about this eyeshadow palette. This eyeshadow palette retails for 5,000 naira, which I think is really, really affordable for the number of colors, for the packaging, and for what they are giving. It's a great price, and it makes it easily affordable for many people. I also like the fact that this eyeshadow palette contains nude shades as well as colorful shades. There's a combination of shades for everybody, for the everyday person who wants to apply eyeshadow and for people who like colors. So I think this eyeshadow palette would be a great eyeshadow palette for people who are just dipping their feet into makeup and just want a palette that is quite encompassing, which means that they can use different colors in the palette and they can create looks with them, and they don't have to buy so many palettes. I think it's also a good eyeshadow palette for makeup artists, because makeup artists tend to use them because they also have a wide variety of shades to choose from. And it's also a great eyeshadow palette for enthusiasts as well, and for people who, for content makeup and beauty content creators as well, because you have a wide variety of shades in there. You can really play around with your looks, with your colors, with your shades to get to get a really good look. There are shades you can also use as blush, you can use as contour, bronzer, and as a highlighter. So that makes it a really all-encompassing palette, and I really appreciate that for that. I really appreciate that for that price point. Onto the quality of the eyeshadows. The quality of the eyeshadows are actually good. The eyeshadows, obviously some are more pigmented than others, and I found that the nude shades, which are on the top row, I found them to be quite powdery, but they still applied well, but they were not as watery as or as pigmented as the other shades in the second and third row. The purple shade that I thought was going to apply patchy actually did not apply patchy, which was very impressive. But purple shades that can be difficult to formulate. One shade I, however, had a problem with was the yellow, the matte yellow. That's the shade Sunrise. Was not. On to fallout, because people asked about fallout, how much fallout there was. There's a little bit of kickback in the palettes when you put your brush in it, but on my face there was just, I didn't find that I had excessive amounts of fallout after applying my eyeshadows. It was just a little bit on here when I applied, but there was no pouring. That it wasn't terrible. It was just normal, minimal. Actually, I would call it minimal. I used up to half of the shades in the palette, and I can say that it's a good palette for the price. It's a good palette. The eyeshadow pigments are good pigments, and especially the colorful shades. The colorful shades were really nice. They banged. They looked really good. Lydia mentioned in her review video that Zikel Cosmetics ships all over the world. However, I found that on the website, if you're shipping outside the country, I don't know whether you still can place your orders on the website, because when I tried to put in order other countries, it wasn't, the shipping rates weren't coming up. So I don't know if that's maybe if that's just my mistake. So I will not be able to comment on people living outside the country, but I placed my own order on Instagram via Instagram DMs, and paid via Instagram DMs, and got my order in 2 days. I'm also going to obviously touch on the issue of Zikel Cosmetics and their brand. You know, Zikel Cosmetics has been known for imitating products, and I'm going to just put it out there. This is not to bash the brand. I think this is a really good palette in terms of originality, in terms of the work put into the palette, the color theory, palette looks, the packaging. It just looks like a really original work of art, like something someone thought very much about before doing, like, and I'm really impressed about that. So I think I might be trying other products from Zikel Cosmetics moving forward. I really like this palette. Would I recommend it to you guys? Yes, I think you should try out this palette. The quality of the eyeshadows are good. It's sturdy, looks good, it's pretty, and and what I love most about this palette is how all-encompassing it is. It's a palette you can take around with you as the only palette you have, and just really enjoy it. This is the look. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you guys can see the look for real, like give you some slow-mos. You get what I mean? Yeah, so let me do that. That brings me to the end of this review. I hope it wasn't too long because I was just trying to get across all of the information and show you guys really how the palette is. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and join the family. If you have any questions about the palette, please leave your questions in the comment section below. I'll definitely reply. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.